What about the little guy?
Yeah!
What about the small monsters? Do they not deserve love too?
Right for small monsters!
They make the game feel so alive, and yet no one gives a crap.
It's true!
Look at this spider here, doing his job, making a web, adding flavor. You think he gets credit? Oh, stop getting. In all seriousness, though, I really don't think enough people just stop and appreciate the little guys. From the endemic life enriching the very fabric of each beautifully realized environment, to the slightly bigger, yet technically still small monsters that essentially are the cogs that keep it turning. They are the glue that makes everything make sense, at least mostly from an ecosystem perspective. And then for a lot of people, including myself, the first time you play a Monster Hunter game, these are the monsters that give you that, well, Jurassic Park moment. And I think there's a lot of potential to be had with them. I think there's a lot they can do with them in the future, and I think there's a lot of positives to be said about them. So here then are, well, my favorite. Also, if we could just take some of these small monsters, maybe some of the endemic life, and just scale up the model loads, and then have a new larger monster, that'd be great. Which one would you actually choose out of all of them for that to happen to? Obviously, in practice, it's not that simple, but that would be pretty neat. Either way, beginning then, how could I not with Aptonoth? He is the classic. He is the king of the herbivores. There are cooler ones, there are bigger ones, but Aptonoth holds, I think, a special place in every Monster Hunter's heart, because he's often your first. And you always remember your first. You, in your first Monster Hunter game, at least likely, me definitely, took your first hunt in the forest and hills. You walk out feeling heroic. Feeling like you need to prove yourself. With hope in your heart and a glint in your eye, you walk forward. And you see your first creature, a small, grazing herd of Aptonoth, and you walk up with your little iron sword and shield, and you think, can I just kill, can I just kill them? I'm just gonna kill them. And don't tell me this is not how it went down for you. You slash them up, and you carve your first raw meat, and you're like, oh, I just killed a dinosaur! Oh, this shit is cool. And that's it, you're hooked. The talons of Monster Hunter are firmly in you. Granted, you know, that gleam in your eye will be replaced by dirt shortly, as every subsequent monster introduces you to more of it, but that is really it, right? That is the moment. And what I think is a beautiful parallel is Monster Hunter World, this new distinct chapter in Monster Hunter, gives people it again. In the ancient forest, when you walk out from that first camp and see a very similar open area with a herd of grazing Aptonoth, well, the magic is recaptured once more. I think it's absolutely beautiful. These guys, honestly, I almost go as far to say they're as iconic to Monster Hunter as Rathalos is. I really, really do. They're not the smartest bunch. They try their best to defend themselves. The big alpha males will try and protect the herd. The parents of young ones will give you a little bit of headbutt, a little bit of tail sweep, but not the most effective. Mostly, if one of them gets attacked, they'll just be like, oh shit, guys, if we use him while he's being eaten alive, if we all just book it, we might survive. And then they flail, running like morons into the next zone, just, oh my god, we're gonna die. They hope for the best. They're not the most capable of creatures. They exist largely to just be a meat source for a myriad of large monsters, but damn it, they do their job well. They should wear their crest with pride, because Aptonoths, well, we salute you, especially as they are some of the more directly dinosaur-y monsters. They've got very much parasaur and other herbivore type inflections to them, and they look straight up just plucked out of the Jurassic, which I think is fantastic. Next up then, I have to give the nod to a new bunch that has broken into the scene, the windrakes, your Barnos, your Murnos, your Noyos, and your Raphanos. These guys, I think, are a really cool concept, and I'm super super happy they got added to the game with World. Firstly, just their relationship with the hunters. To say that we have domesticated a breed of them in the Murnos to use for living transportation, that's pretty badass. Able to distribute hunters with speed and efficiency on literally wings is kinda revolutionary. Not having to take huge airships or slow overland travel, you can spot hunters where they are needed quickly. That, I think, is pretty badass. Though, the mechanics of it are a little bit interesting. So you fire your grapple up and it ties around their feet and then they flap you on your way. But I can't but feeling that sometimes you're gonna miss and, like, just impale the poor thing with your grappling hook. And then even the size of it compared to the hunter, a hunter in full big armor with a huge weapon. This thing's gonna be like, I got, you wanna go to the recess? Oh no, the exhaustion death rate must be obscene. Free Murnos slaves. But no, it is really damn fantastic. Even just latching onto them as quick escapes while you're fighting is a really neat concept. Hunting the floating eggs in the air in the Coral Highlands as the Noyos, roosting in the Wild Spire, making shrieking screamer-pod level noise and really messing with Diablos' sleeping pattern. Stop. And then the ones that spit corrosive saliva, giving you the armor down debuff. They hunt mostly on the little endemic lives that run about, grabbing the geckos, the little rabbits, and they're little carnivorous nippers, but I'm a big fan of them. But what I think I really wanted was a large monster version, right? Like a great Murnos, a big flying wingdrake with serious speed that swoops down and tries to rake you in its talons. Not hugely different from your normal flying wyvern, but definitely distinct enough to be, well, its own monster category. Indeed, when the list of monsters got actually released, I thought that these guys, at least one of them, was going to be a large monster. I thought it was going to be a whole new category of large monster, like amphibians, like brute wyverns, like all before them that got introduced, and we were like, yeah, these are cool. Like with Leviathans, I thought we were going to get wingdrakes as a large monster class, and I was kind of really disappointed. Holy shit, there's a spider on my wall, and it's fucking huge. I don't know what. I don't want to take my eyes off it. What if I blink and it? Oh crap! I'm really not good with spiders. Danny, there's a spider on my wall. It's huge. I'm gonna die. You're not gonna die. Okay, now the spider situation's been dealt with. I swear that was very much not planned. Next up then, jagras. I think they are really well done. I mean, essentially acting as iguana dogs, and as someone who owns 2 Tiggers, which I am hoping very much when they get to their adult size will be my lizard dogs, hopefully rideable into battle, I very much have quite the affinity to them. I think the Great Jagras is awesome. I love how he feeds them. The jagras patrol the area, they look out for potential meals, they see the hunter is small enough to swarm and take down and attack, and both them and the Gyros have this, well, large monster has fallen over. Get 'em, boys! And they all pile on, and it's a really wonderful sight to see, using the canopy and the high treetops to move around without being hunted themselves. They have ridiculous speed and jumping ability, and they're really quite complex social animals, which is very rare for the most part when you're looking at reptiles. But for me, it really is that they are just the most complex, well done, most brought to life small monsters I think ever. You can really observe them and see a proper life cycle playing out that's wonderful. The way they interact with each other, they go in groups of 3, they protect one another, but they will also retreat once they lose too many of their number, knowing when the fight is lost. They will go into the cave and protect their leader, they will use the cave to sleep for safety, and they will try and threaten and hiss and roar in large numbers in the hopes to appear more threatening than they actually are, because look at them, you just want to tap them on the head and be like, oh you, in order to ward off would-be predators, which is really neat to behold, though a lot of the time it's like, seriously guys?
Oh, now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up now!
And there's just something about them that I really appreciate. They were a fantastic first little encounter at the start of Monster Hunter really sort of set the tone, and I would love to see more of their ilk. Honestly, jagras make me really want what I think would be really cool for the first time, a small monster that's a large monster, which might sound counterintuitive, but bear with me. I mean large monster in the sense that it's a proper hunt target with its proper armor set and all associated trappings. So essentially, each individual member, yeah, is fairly weak, easy to kill, but the swarm, the pack, is so effective and deadly that their threat level rivals that of a single large monster. So imagine you as a hunter fighting these is actually a harder experience than, say, taking down like a low tier Kulu or Pookie. I think that would be a really neat way to do it and really accentuate one of animals' greatest strengths, which is working together. There actually isn't really a more powerful trait in the entire animal kingdom than animals that cooperate during a hunt. It's the single most dominant strategy for survival that anything has. I mean, you need not look further than humans to see the extreme example of what happens when a species is capable of working so well and tight-knit as a collective, from both hunting to all the way to now. But there is a reason that pack animals are so good at what they do. So I would adore seeing a pack animal in Monster Hunter that is so potent, it's got the threat level of a large monster, and you have this kind of swarm brawl as they all jump at you and ring round you, use hit and run tactics, have moves that combo with each other, maybe a group of them pin you and you have to fight them off, and it's just this awesome little piling brawl, you know, like in cartoons when it's the dust cloud and you see the occasional limbs come pouring out and star effects, and, you know, not as comical as that, but that kind of feeling. You're just having a right one versus many battle that isn't just kind of cleaving through fodder defenseless monsters that can't really fight back. I don't know, I don't think it will ever happen, but I do think it's something worth exploring because it's a facet of animal hunters that really isn't explored all too crazily in Monster Hunter. Granted, you could argue it's Monster Hunter, not Monsters Hunter, but I feel like that's sort of an arbitrary distinction to make. Following that then, we have the Gajalakas. Gajalaka. Haha, I did it, team. I did it. Aren't these guys just wonderful? I mean, anything that makes this sound, instantly you want to be wary of. Like, you're in a dark alley, you're hurrying home, and then suddenly, oh crap. They are wonderful. They're actually quite powerful, they're organized and they're potent. They have resemblings of shakalakas, which are tribal Linian-like creatures from the older games that wore pumpkin-esque masks, but they seem much more advanced. They're a lot tougher. They have a myriad of status elements. They can affect you. The purple-masked ones will poison you, yellow for paralysis, and blue for sleep, and their fuck with you ability is ridiculously high. In fact, they have one of the highest FWY quotients of any annoying-ass little small monster going, while still being kind of honestly likable. There's just that moment when you're fighting and you're like, oh, the monster got paralyzed, what the hell? Oh, I'm slept. Ah, they just threw a bomb at me. No, fuck this, fuck you. I don't I'm just being JCC'd by little bastards! And it's a really good story moment when that happens, and I think they are wonderful for it. Not to mention when you do befriend them, and you get their barrage of explosions, the monster reeling on its back as it's being essentially explosive firing squadded in a circle. It is brutal. It kind of just proves that as a tribe, they are capable, more than capable, of taking down large monsters. It even works on elder dragons. These guys just do not give a shit. They are supremely the descendants of honey badgers. There is no doubt in my mind. They will just ruin your day, no matter what you are. Mostly, it seems like, for the fucking fun of it as well. I love the little interactions you get with them via your cat when you do befriend them. I like the little tribe culture that they have going on. Their little dens that you can use as shortcuts throughout the map. They seem to have a proper tribe that they do represent. In fact, they are known as the Odd Mass tribe, and they're really quite the force, and I think that's super cool that they've done that. They're honestly quite tough. I mean, look at the Kulv ones. They're so irritating, but they're opportunistic, they are effective and thriving in the wild, and really for such little guys, they really should be feared, especially considering that just one of them with the right build can help your Palico solo an Elder Dragon. So, yeah, I love me the Gajalakas. And the thing is, a lot of these on this list are essentially in-world or new-to-world, and that makes sense, really, because that's when they've been done to the best. The smaller monsters in the old games were just kind of nuisances, but then again, number one, the one that I have the deepest hatred for, yet also the strongest admiration, is the triple psychopath trifecta of fuck-youery. The Bullfango, the Konchu, and to a lesser extent, but still there, the the Desert Bullfango. We're going to focus mostly on Bullfango and Konchu, as they're really the main offenders. These two, they wake up in the morning, the sun shines into their forest or burrow, and they're like, oh, today is a good day. Today is a good day for making hunters want to die. Oh, come on, Barry. Let's go ruin some lives. As they rub their little insecty feelers together, these psychopaths are infuriating, and they create some of the most memorable moments, not necessarily for good reasons, but definitely memorable. You're trying to fight a monster, and these things will not stop charging into you, constantly hitting you, knocking you out the way, cancelling greatsword charges, and essentially ruining your will to live, okay? They will make you hate your life. You just want to get on and fight the monster, but no! They're like, I know you're attacking one of my natural predators, but on the other hand, did you see that, guys? Oh, I got him right in the back. Oh, he carted. Did you see? He fucking carted. Oh, man. Classic us, guys. And it's just like, why? Why are you like this? Who did this to you? Who hurt you when you were a young Konchu or Bullfango? Why is your hatred so strong? And granted, it's mostly a symptom of in the old games, everything attacks the hunter, irrelevant if it made natural sense, and if they were in world, it probably wouldn't be as just pure hate and angers on legs or feelers, but the point remains, right, that these guys have a legendary reputation for being just pure, total assholes to everything that comes near them, and there is a certain moment when you walk into a zone to fight a monster and you see Konchus or Bullfangos, and you just have the most sincere, deep,
Oh, hi, Mark.
and that's a special feeling to generate. It really is. So while I hate them, I can't help but have a grudging respect for them. Bullfangos, they're essentially huge boars. They have a bulldrome. They're a leader. They snuffle around for mushrooms in the forest and generally defend their territories with charges. They're really, I mean, they're just wild boar. What more do you want here? Konchu on the other claw are very interesting. Like woodlouse, able to ball up, but their shell is incredibly hard. Really hard. It will cause most weapons to bounce off them. There is special moments where you're charging an attack or about to do a huge blow to the monster, and essentially a Konchu will get down Mr. President you, dive in front of you, and make you bounce off its little shell, and again, your day absolutely ruined. They feed on what little morsels they can find scavenging in the undergrowth, smaller insects and animals, and rotting plant matter, and they live in groups. They're quite the social insect. Oh, good old Konchu. I really was sad that they weren't in world, because I wanted a load of new players to experience that pain. They are hunted naturally by Yankuk-ku, who just eats them as little morsels. His beak is strong enough to go through their shell, which is honestly probably the most impressive thing that a Yankuk-ku can achieve. Oh! Yeah, they're my favourites, and also simultaneously my least favourites. I would love to know your stories with the smaller wildlife. I'd love to know if you do have a love for them, or if you're like, I could take it or leave it, and any ideas you might have for ones that you'd love to see implemented. But for now, my name has been Josh. Like you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and I will see you very soon. Goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kinda relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.